going to share with you the three biggest myths of environmental toxins or poisons. The first being the idea that the dose makes the poison. And what they mean by that is that even if an environmental chemical or toxin is known to cause toxicity, it would cause toxicity in individuals only if they have been exposed to a large amount of that compound, either in one acute setting or a large amount over time. Well, the reality is, unfortunately, that couldn't be further from the truth. Research dates back about 30 years showing that even small amounts of toxins can cause harm to human health. And in fact, this research has shown, especially as it relates to endocrine disrupting compounds, that more harm is caused by lower or lesser amounts of that endocrine disrupting chemical. Another example is lead, where environmental researchers agree that there is no safe lower level. So the dose simply does not make the poison. So it's safe to say that we should find no comfort in the idea that low levels of environmental toxins or poisons are safe for humans. The next big myth about environmental toxins is that we do not store or we do not accumulate environmental toxins. Well, again, research dates back 30 years. One landmark study is called Body Burden, the Pollution of Newborns. And in that study, researchers looked at the cord blood of 10 US born babies, and they found an average of 287 different chemicals. They found an average of 200 chemicals in each individual newborn. So there goes the idea that we don't store environmental toxins. The toxins that were found in this group of newborns included pesticides, coal burning, and consumer product residues, gas and garbage, brominated flame retardants, perfluoro and Teflon, and even banned chemicals. Another example of evidence of the storage of evidence that we store environmental toxins is documented by the CARE study, California Regional Exposure. In that, researchers looked at 360 different adults living in the southern California counties of Riverside and San Bernardino, but also Imperial, Mono, and Inyo counties. And in that study, they found that 90% of individuals had diesel exhaust byproducts, that a full 100% of participants had lead, and over 90% of participants had PFAS, polyfluoroalkyl substances. PFAS or forever chemicals are the toxins that are used to keep fabric from staining, like Scotch Guard, such as what's found in carpets and couches and in food packaging. And finally, just another example of the evidence that we do store environmental toxins is found in the Maternal, Infant, and Environmental Exposure Project. That's where they took 65 mother-infant pairs and 27 mothers. They tested their urine, they tested blood, and they tested umbilical cord blood, and they found diesel byproduct compounds. They found the pesticide DDE. They found the plasticizer phthalate. Phthalate is what makes plastics soft, and they found flame retardants. The next biggest myth of environmental toxins is the idea that if it's sold, if it's on the shelf, if we can buy it, that it therefore must be safe because regulators have looked at and tested that or those compounds already. That couldn't be further from the truth. Consumer goods, whether it be those used in the manufacturing of food or compounds used in the manufacturing of other consumer goods like mattresses, furniture, cars, etc., are made with a wide variety of different petrochemicals and solvents and other toxins. The majority of these compounds and toxins have never been tested to be safe. They have simply bypassed regulation. One reason we know this is because the Silent Spring Institute and Berkeley Public Health teamed up together to evaluate how many toxins in consumer goods and products might pose a risk to women for breast cancer, and they found that a full 900 chemicals plus have the potential to increase the risk of breast cancer in women. These are simply compounds that have not been fully vetted and tested for human safety. And one of the main reasons why there are so many environmental compounds in commerce that are not safe and have not been fully vetted or regulated is because Toxic Substances Control Act of 1976 grandfathered in all environmental toxins and chemicals that were used prior to that time. And so a full 62,000 chemicals were allowed to be used without any particular testing to document their level of potential harm or toxicity to organs or humans. And it's estimated now that less than 1% or approximately 1% of chemicals in commerce today have been tested by any private entity or by any government agency. Most toxins in or compounds in use have no toxicity profile or data, and this is just what's used in the United States. Consider the amount of toxins that are used worldwide. With the emerging BRICS companies now, they make up 40% of the global market of environmental toxins. And it's estimated that around the world there are now a whopping 350,000 different environmental toxins and chemicals that are used in commerce. 120 of these cannot even be fully identified because of unfamiliarity or because of the privacy rights of companies. And a full 60,000 of these companies, of these compounds, are very poorly understood and have little or no regulation at all. So the three biggest myths of environmental toxins are that the dose makes the poison, or that 2, we do not accumulate environmental toxins, and 3, if it's on the shelf, it must be safe. If you'd like to learn more about our risk to environmental toxins and what you can do about it to keep you and your family safe, and if you'd like to learn about detoxification, subscribe to my channel and look out for my next video.